हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः स्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय हरये परमात्मने प्रणतः क्लेशनाशाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रयविनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नुमः We'll chant the mantra. You repeat with me. ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय 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 So this is Srimad Bhagavat Purana. So what is the meaning of Bhagavat Purana? Bhagavatah ayamiti Bhagavatam. That which belongs to Bhagavan. Purana means stories. So generally we take Bhagavat Puranam as a story of Krishna. But it is not really story. It is a story of the devotees of Bhagavan. Who was Parikshit, who was Kunti, who was Bhishma. So it is a story about the devotee of Bhagavan. It's called Bhagavata Purana. So this Bhagavata Purana has 12 chapters. And there is a glory of Bhagavat also is there in Padma Purana. The 6 chapters are there which talks about the story of the glory of this Bhagavat. So, but whenever we start something new, this is a tradition for us. Like suppose you get the new home, we do puja, vastu puja we do. Want to start the construction of the house, then bhumi pujanam we do. So anything what we start with the prayer. So similarly in Bhagavad also we start with this prayer. And it's called Mangala Charanam. Acharan means beginning. Mangala means auspicious. So Bhagavad also starts with this Mangalacharan, auspicious beginning. So there are 3 ways we do this beginning. Either you remember God or you remember the teacher, Guru. Or you remember the reality of the Lord, who is Lord. Our problem is that we always live in the life of relativity. Suppose I ask you, who are you? Whatever introduction you are giving me is relative. Is it from the standpoint of body, from the standpoint of the place, from the standpoint of the time, from the standpoint of your qualifications? I am a doctor, I am an engineer. So, what is the reality of Bhagavan? So that is called reality, tattva. In Sanskrit it's called tattva. So either you do the prayer to Guru, prayer to the Lord, or prayer to the reality, tattva. That's called Mangalacharanam. And what is the purpose of Mangalacharanam? Why we have to have auspicious beginning? Because whenever we write a book, we need to complete the book. There should be completion of the book. But in Shastra we say that there are 3 factors are there for any action. Yatna means our effort. Kala means time. Suppose I plant the mango tree. Tomorrow I am not going to get the mango fruit. It needs time. So that time factor also is there. It plays a role in getting the result of the action. Even completion of the action also needs time. I start building this house in one day, I cannot do that. That's why we have to have a planning, So for action also we need time, and for the result of the action also we need time. Third is called Daivam. Daivam is unknown factors. So here also they call third factor. Why they call third factor? Because my effort, time plus that Daiva. Where I am living in South Gujarat, a lot of sugar cane farms are there. So most of the people, when you ask, what are you doing? Then they will say, I grow sugar cane. This is common. But does he grow sugar cane? If he is growing sugar cane, then every day morning he has to go to the farm and he has to grow sugar cane. Right? Is he growing sugar cane? Or he is planting sugar cane? He plants, understand? He is not growing. So growing is by whom? That's called what we call third factor, Daivam. Fire, moon, sun, water, air. These all factors are there. So 2 brothers are there. They have 5 acres land and they plant this sugar cane. At the end, do they get the same tons of sugar cane? Is it possible? No. Understand? Why? Because the third factor is there. Understand? And therefore, so I am putting my effort to write the book. But my effort has to be successful. And my effort to make my effort successful, I have to have this Mangalacharan, prayers. This is one thing. Suppose I completed the book. But it has to go to the right person. But to go to the right person, that book has to be sustained, preserved. Suppose we are studying Bhagavata, means what? All our ancestors have taken so much pain to preserve this book. Then only we have this one. Vyas Bhagwan has written Bhagavad Purana, and we are learning now. So we are so much thankful. We have a depth of these people, those who have preserved this Bhagavad. Understand? And then it has to go to the right person. And therefore, this prayer is not only for the completion of the book, for the preservation of the book, and it has to go to the right person. And therefore, any book when we start writing, we do this Mangalacharanam. And therefore, this first verse is called Mangalacharanam of Bhagavatam. And it's a very beautiful verse. We'll read that verse first. You have that. Okay. So they have broken the words differently, but in the tradition, what way we chant this verse, accordingly I will tell you. Janmadyasya yataha anvayad anvaya itaratah cha artheshu abhignah swarat tena brahmarida ya adikavaye muhyante yat surayah tejo vari mrudam yatha vinimayo yatra trisargo mrusha dhamna svena sada nirastakuhakam satyam param dhimahi. It's a very beautiful verse. Janmadyasya yataha. Yataha means from which. Janmadi, birth, etc. Yasya means whom. Understand? So from whom all this is being born. Understand? So for any creation, there is a cause. Understand? Yataha means cause, from which. So this entire creation, what we are experiencing, from which this world has come into being. So janmadyasya yataha. Now when I say yataha, so this is actually Brahma Sutra, second sutra. There is a book called Brahma Sutra written by Ved Vyasji. Generally we say there is a Prasthantrayi. 3. Gita, Upanishad and Brahma Sutra. That is the basic shastras we need to learn. So Brahma Sutra is a logic, Nyaya Grantha. Because there are different ways, different things are being explained in the Shastra. So now we have to collaborate them, so logically. And that's why this Ved Vyasji has written this Brahma Sutra. Understand? So then the Brahma Sutra start with Athato Brahma Jignasa. So everybody should develop the desire to know the Brahman. Athato Brahma Jignasa means you should have a desire to know the Brahman. Brahman means reality. Understand? But who is Brahman? What is Brahman? So second sutra gives the definition, Janmadyasya yataha. Understand? from what this is being born. So this world is born of what? Look at this. So it reminds, it is sutra, it is aphorism, in short form it's writing. So yataha word takes us to the Taittiriya Upanishad. Understand? The Taittiriya Upanishad tells the definition of Brahman. It's a definition of Brahman. Like in our study, we have a definition of everything. What is a gravity? So the definition of Brahman is very beautiful. Yatova imani bhutani jayante, from which everything is being born. Understand? So for us, this from is very important. Then yena jatani jivanti, because of whom everything is being sustained. Yat prayantam abhisham vishanti, unto whom everything is being dissolved. Understand? So for any creation we need two causes. Suppose I want to make the pot. Then two causes. One is a pot maker and the pot. Understand? Clay. Why we say clay? We have to understand this. Because from which yataha is there. So if we make the sentence, the pot maker makes the pot from the clay. Understand? Yataha means from. So it's a clay, material. But that material has to have a potentiality. From the air I cannot make pot. From the space I cannot make pot. From the water I cannot make the pot. From the fire I cannot make the pot. Only the earth, the clay, has a capacity to become the pot. Do you understand? Then only it is called cause. Fire is not the cause for pot because it doesn't have potentiality to become the clay pot. Understand? And therefore, from which when we say, that means it is a material. Clay is a material and pot maker is a maker. Understand? Now, anybody can I call a pot maker? Suppose I start making the pot. It will be the map of India, it won't be the pot. Understand? Because I don't have a skill, knowledge to make the pot. So whenever we say the person, the maker has a knowledge, means know-how and the skill. And then material has to have a potentiality to become the effect. And therefore, yataha, this word talks about the reality from which this world is being created. Now, if it is a material cause, look at this. It doesn't say the maker here. Yeah? It doesn't talk about the maker. It talks about the material. This is where everybody is missing. We say Lord created the world. We don't say that. Do you understand? Other religion, they say Lord created the world. First day he made this, second day he made this, third day he made this, and fourth day he remembered there is no sun, so he created sun. But without sun, how did he count the first day, second day, third day? Understand? It's a logic. We need to have a logic. Got it? They all learnt in the school, Right? So, janmadhyasya yatah. It's a beautiful word. From which everything is being born. So that means this mantra in Taittiriya Upanishad says, Yatova imani bhutani jayante yena jatani jivanti yat prayantam abhisham vishanti tad brahma. Look at this. This is a definition. From which everything has come into being, by which everything is being sustained, unto which everything is being dissolved, that is Brahman. Tad vijignasastva. May you have a desire to know Brahman. Then question comes, why should I know Brahman? Suppose there it says, even first sutra I already told you. First sutra says what? Athato Brahma Jignasa. May you have a desire to know Brahman. The question is, why should I know Brahman? If I don't know Brahman, is it okay or not? So what is Brahman? So any Sanskrit word comes from the root. This is the only perfect language, Sanskrit. Suppose you say go. Suppose you say leave. From what it has come, we don't know. Go means go. Leave means leave. But for us, there are 2000 roots are there. Dhatu it is called. From which every word is being created. According to the grammatical rules of Sanskrit. Gam gacchati, he goes. Gam gacchami, I go. So Brahma also he has a root called Bruh. Bruhi Vruddho. Vruddhi means what? Growth. Bruhi means something which is big. But big is not object. Understand properly. Big is not object. Is an adjective. Big, small, blue, green. It are adjectives. Every grammar, basically 3 types of the words are there. Names are there, verbs are there, and the adjectives are there. So, big is adjective. It's not a noun. It's not noun. It is adjective. And the adjective also when we say big. But when I use the adjective with object, that object limits the adjective. Understand this properly. Suppose I say big mosquito. Okay. So bigness is being limited by mosquito. It cannot be the size of the rat. Understand? Right? So the word mosquito is limiting the word big. Big rat, when I say, it's not going to be the size of the lion. Right? When I say big mountain, it's not going to be the size of the earth. That means even though it is an adjective, that adjective is being limited by the object. So suppose I say Brahma, Bruh. Okay. It's adjective. So whenever I am going to use the word big, something is going to limit it. Correct? It's going to limit it by something. So when I say big mosquito, big rat, big cat, big mountain, it's going to be limited by that object, right? Because being adjective, it happens. But suppose I convert that adjective itself into the noun. The adjective is being converted into the noun. There are nothing is there to be limited. Correct? So, Bruhu is I say, I made a noun Brahma. So there is no object, understand, to limit it. Brahma, from Bruhu, when I make Brahma, there is nothing to limit it. That means what happened? Brahma means become what? Limitless. Correct? The word meaning of the Brahma becomes what? Limitless, because there is nothing to limit it. Understand? Now what is limitless? We have to understand. It says, may you have a desire to know the limitless. Brahma means limitless. The same question again. Why should I know limitless? So we have to understand what you want in your life. Anybody you ask. Suppose you say, I want money. But money also you want for what? Same money, if it's going to create a trouble in your life, then what will you do? You like food. How much food you will eat? Same food, if it's creating problem in your body, are you going to eat that food? That means money is for money or my comfort. I desire money not for the sake of money, it's for me. Food is also not for the food's sake, it's for me. So that means what we want in our life. If really we analyze what we are looking for in the life. So our scripture says everybody is looking for happiness. I want to be happy. Whether you ask the person who is in Alaska or person in South America, the basic is what? They think if I will have a money, I will be comfortable. People, those who have money, they will think if I have a BMW, then I will be happy. The person who has a BMW will think when I have a Ferrari, I will be happy. Person who has a Ferrari thinks if I have a good girlfriend, I will be happy. Okay? Good girlfriend. So we keep changing. This will make me happy, then I gain it. And I understand not happy, then I go for other thing. Then I go for other thing. Then I go for other thing. Understand? So what we want in our life is I want to be happy. Understand? Now there is a logic. Understand this logic. Can you desire something which you don't know? Can you desire something which you don't know? Suppose I say, do you want dabeli? Do you want dabeli? You want to know dabeli? You know dabeli, that means, right? That means you know dabeli, right? But suppose something I say which you don't know, will you desire for it? No. That means every desire presupposes the knowledge. Am I right? Every desire presupposes the knowledge. Right? Okay. Now let's see, everybody wants to be happy. That means you know happiness. Right? You know. Now I will ask you 6 questions. What kind of happiness you want? I won't answer. You have to answer that. Okay? Because you are desiring the happiness, not me. You want to be happy today and not tomorrow. Is it okay? Or you want to be happy every day? Every day. Okay? You are happy in San Jose but not in LA. Is it okay? Or you want to be happy everywhere? Some people makes you happy, it's fine, and with some people it's okay. Or you want to be happy with everything and everybody. I'm not answering, understand? I'm asking question to you. You want to be happy with everything and everybody or not? Okay. 3. You want to be happy with lot of efforts or no efforts? No efforts. You can be happy, but you have to depend on somebody. So you want independent happiness or dependent happiness? Independent. Right? Last. You can be happy, but you don't know. Is it okay? With no knowledge, without knowledge. You want happiness with knowledge or without knowledge? With knowledge. Right? So there are 6 words are there in Sanskrit also. Okay. You want to be happy every time. Sarvada it is called. Then sarvatra. Sarvada, sarvatra. Sarva means with everything. Sarva. Right? Then without effort, anayasa. Without effort. And with knowledge. Gnana sahita. With knowledge. And independent, swatantra. Right? Sarva, sarvada, sarvatra, anayas, gnana sahit, swatantra. Now, this is my definition, your definition of happiness. Yeah? That means everybody is seeking this one. So I can now, instead of using these 6 words, I can use only one word called limitless happiness. Not limited by time, not limited by space, not limited by object, not limited by the effort. Do you understand? So every human being is seeking the limitless happiness. Right? Now, as I said, the logic, every desire presupposes knowledge. So if you have a desire for limitless happiness, that means you know. If you don't know, you cannot desire. Right? So that means you know limitless. What is limitless happiness? If you know, then why are you desiring? Do you see the contradiction? This is the first contradiction in our life. You know what is limitless happiness because you are desiring. And if you know, then why are you desiring? So that means what? You have to find out, first thing is that, where did you experience limitless happiness? If you know, that means you have experienced somewhere. Right? And it's not that all people have a desire. Every child also desiring what? Limitless happiness. Right? Maybe child is not capable of expressing, but what child wants is limitless happiness. That means you have experienced somewhere, otherwise you cannot desire. So where did you experience limitless happiness? No. Born is so much pain is there when you come out of the womb of mother. Where is the happiness there? What happiness is there in birth? It's all pain. That's the only time you cry. You start with crying. And at the end, everybody others cries. At your birth, you cry and everybody is happy. And when you die, everybody cries and you are freed. You have a desire for limitless happiness means you are experiencing limitless happiness somewhere. That's why I always tell, when you come to my class, you have to have a cup of tea. Where do you experience limitless happiness?
So we know there is limitless happiness, but we don't know how to get it.
No, I'm asking you something else. Where do you or when are you experiencing limitless happiness?
Because when we were made from Brahma.
No, now I'm talking about the now, not past. Now. In this life, somewhere you have experienced that limitless happiness. Otherwise, you cannot desire it. In this life only.
वो तो हर कोई भी क्षण में आप कुछ कर रहे हो और उस टाइम पे आप खुश हो, तो वही छोटी छोटी खुशियाँ हैं जो लिमिटेड।
वो तो लिमिटेड है ना, क्योंकि कुछ हो गया, मानी दैट मीन्स व्हाट, द सिचुएशन, लिमिटेड बाय द सिचुएशन, लिमिटेड बाय द टाइम, लिमिटेड बाय द ऑब्जेक्ट. We are talking about limitless happiness. No time, no space, no object, but you are happy. Understand?
Yourself is the happiness.
Huh?
You don't say it is.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. In the sleep, no time, no space, no object, no effort, right? And you are independent. Only thing is that knowledge is not there. Why I made the 6 points? In the sleep, you don't have a knowledge. Waking up, you know that I enjoyed. In the sleep, you don't know. You didn't know that you are enjoying this. Waking up, you know. And therefore, we experience that limitless happiness in the sleep, and the same happiness we search here. Where we are going for the money and power and pleasures, because that we have experienced that. Every day we experience. But the knowledge is not there. One thing. Second, if it is limitless, is it other than you? Is it possible that it's other than you? It's separate from you? If it is separate from you, it's no more limitless. That means limitless happiness and you are not two. You are limitless happiness. You are limitless happiness. That means you don't need to experience it. Like, suppose sugar. Sugar tells you, oh, you know what? I want to experience sweetness. Can sugar desire to experience the sweetness? Sugar is sweetness. Sugar is sweetness. It doesn't need to desire to experience the sweetness. That's why this experience is a useless thing. Because sugar is sweet. Sweetness is sugar. Similarly, your limitless happiness, that's you. You don't have to experience the happiness. All these meditation people are doing what? They try to make you experience something. But we are not talking about the experience. We are talking about the nature. The nature of the sugar is sweetness. Nature of the fire is heat. Hot it is. It's a nature. Similarly, if it is what you desire, that means what? What you desire is yourself. Am I right? What you desire is yourself. But how can I desire myself? That means I don't know. I don't know that I am limitless happiness. That's why I'm telling this is knowledge. It has nothing to do with your experiences. It's knowledge. You have to know that you are limitless happiness. But how can I know myself? You know, in Saudi Arabia, there was one Mullah Nasruddin. There is a story also, like Tenali Ram story is there, in South. It's a nice story. You should get that book. Nice book called Mullah Nasruddin. He was a wise person, but he was a very funny person also. So one day, this Mullah Nasruddin and his bibi, wife, they were sleeping. And it was a winter time, so a lot of cold is there. So both of them were sleeping. And suddenly, this mullah heard some voice, some noise. And that noise was that behind the house, backyard, because of the winter, there are a lot of dry leaves were there. And then he heard that somebody is walking. And the dry leaves, when somebody walks, you will listen to it. So mullah heard that. Then suddenly everything was quiet. And after 5 minutes, suddenly he heard that sound. So he woke his bibi, wife. Bibi, dekho na, somebody is in the backyard. But that time it was quiet. My wife said, nobody is there, go to sleep. And then suddenly this sound started. So I said, oh, can you hear? Ah, somebody is in our backyard. Then let's go and see who is there. So they went there. And behind that house there was a big tree was there. And they saw some human figure. And both of them were seeing this human figure. Oh, look at that fellow is there. Ah, he's moving. He's moving. So then Mullah said, you be here. I'll go and bring my arrow and bow and you be here. So this baby was just watching, wife was watching that fellow. So this mullah brought bow and arrow. And he shoot that. And that arrow entered that person. And mullah, I caught him. Now let's go and see who is that fellow. So both went there. And it was a coat of mullah hanging on the tree. So then Mullah Nasruddin said, thank God, Bibi, I was not in the coat. Now, is it possible? The one who is shooting the arrow is Mullah. And one who is going to get hit by the arrow is Mullah. Is it possible? No. The shooter and shooted are always separate. The knower and known are separate. Simple. But I have to know myself. That means what? I am the knower and I am the known. Then what to do? Because knower and known cannot be one. Knower cannot be known and known cannot be the knower. But here the situation is that I have to know I am limitless happiness. So I can be subject or I can be the object. I cannot be both subject and object. Then what to do? Is there a solution for that or not? Suppose I want to, these eyes are seeing entire universe, right? Eyes are the seer. But suppose eyes want to see itself, then what we need? A mirror, right? Right? We need a mirror. Right? Eyes want to see itself, then it needs mirror. Similarly, if I want to know myself, that I need a mirror. And that mirror is called Shastra. Therefore, there is a very nice verse is there. Lochana vihina bhyam darpanam kim karishyat. If somebody doesn't have eyes, what is the use of the mirror? Right? Similarly, buddhi vihina bhyam shastram kim karishyati. If you don't use your buddhi, then how Shastra is going to, scriptures are going to help you. Understand? But our problem is what? Up to certain level we use our intellect. Till we are 40, 45. Then our buddhi is stagnant. Why? Any great heart surgeon or any great engineer or whatever, at certain level you stop thinking because it's mechanical thinking. From our standpoint, who is a heart surgeon? But every day he is doing the same thing. What he has to do is same thing. Suppose somebody is expert in the cataract, removing the cataract, but every day what he has to do is what? Same thing. Understand? That means we are doing the same thing again and again. That means we don't have to use our intellect anymore. Even these programmers, they are programmed. Once we are programmed, then we don't use our. So that's why at certain age, our buddhi becomes the stagnant. We don't use buddhi. Though we look like we are very intelligent people, but we stop thinking. That's our problem. That means we live very mechanical life. Our life is mechanical. Every day we have to do this thing, same thing. Whether it's a study or cooking or job or programming, it is same thing. So that's why at certain level, 40 by 45, everybody becomes mechanical. They don't have to think much. And that's why this says, buddhi vihina means it's not that person doesn't have the buddhi. Everybody has a buddhi, but they have stopped using their buddhi. Because we don't need it. Therefore, the person who is a buddhi vihin means thinking person. We need thinking person. If person doesn't have that thinking capacity, that's why we say every day we should learn something new. If you want to keep your buddhi thinking, do something every day new. Whether it is a cooking or programming or book or anything, something. See, that's why all these doctors, they go for the conference. Why? Thinking. Because in conference they learn something new. Research means you learn something new. So that thinking, you present the paper, that means you have to think about it. All teachers, I remember once, when we first started the university, so our physics professor was there. He was excellent professor. Very nicely with example he was explaining. So I was noting down all the things, whatever he was telling, because books doesn't say everything. So I was writing note. So we were two friends were there. From 5th grade we were together. Till the 2nd year of the college we were together. So we were good friends. Everybody knew around us that we had two friends. Then after a few days she stopped writing. And I asked her, why are you not writing? What all this he is telling, it's not there in the book. And if you don't write, you won't remember, And then she looked at me and said, yeah, I know. The next day also, everybody was taking notes and she stopped taking notes, And then we asked her, why are you not taking notes? Oh, I have a last year notebook. Why? Because we are listening to him first time, that's why it looks like something new. Then I said, yeah, it's fine, but so what? He said, no, whatever is written in the book, same thing he is telling here. That means, for us, he is like a professor of physics, But he is teaching same thing. That's why I'm telling, it's a mechanical. We are very mechanical. We need to be thinking person. That's why this first Janmadhyasya Yata makes you think. That what is the goal of your life? Your goal of life is to know this Brahman. And that Brahman is what? That Brahman is limitless happiness. And if it is limitless, it has to include you. If it has to include you, that means you are limitless happiness. But how come you don't know? So now question is not the limitless happiness. It is not a question of gaining. Understand? Because it is limitless, that means it has to be now here. Then only it is limitless. Understand? If it is limitless in the time, then it has to be now. If it is limitless in the space, then it has to be here. Do you understand? It's a now, here, not separate from you. But I don't know. And therefore, whole Shastra is for knowledge. You have to know that you are limitless happiness. But as I say, to see the eyes, we need the mirror. Similarly, to see ourselves as limitless happiness, we need the scriptures. Lastly, I will give you one example. Suppose you say that, okay, it is a mirror. I'll give two examples. One is a small example. Okay, I will see myself in the mirror. But is it possible for you to recognize yourself in the mirror? Or somebody has to tell you that this is you? Child when first time is in front of the mirror, parents tell, oh, this is you. Understand? That means you have to be introduced by someone to yourself. There is a nice story is there about one British scientist. In 17th century, he used to go to Africa. Africa has its own plants and everything. All vegetations, animals, birds are different. So for his science research, he used to go there. And those days, these tribals were there. So language problem also is there. But somehow he managed to get friendship with the head of that tribe. And that head had a very young man, 40 years old. So whenever he wants to go to the forest, this man will accompany him. So first time he came there, and he had his own tent, and they will go with the tent and all this. Second time when he went there, one day he was sitting outside his tent, and he was shaving his head, shaving with the small mirror. He do that with the small mirror. He was shaving. Now what happened? That time this young man came there. And somehow they learned some language themselves. They were having their own conversations, their own way. And this man, he was just shaving like this. Now he can see his face. But this man was behind him. So he could see this whole forest. So he thought this is magic. We never seen mirror in the life. So he got frightened. Oh, some black magic he has. So he got so frightened. He shouted, oh, be free, away from this man. He has a black magic. He just shouting. He's running toward his tribes, and suddenly everybody came out, and his father, what happened? No, we can't go to that person. He has some black magic. He has some black magic. Now, this fellow also didn't know, Then he suddenly started shouting, so he was also shocked what happened, And in his language, he was telling black magic, so he also didn't understand what he's talking, and why he's running. So he was running behind him, And this fellow said, no, keep him away. And it was a hullabaloo was there, and this old man came out. What are you doing? What happened? No, be away from this man. He has a black magic. Now this British person doesn't understand what he's talking. Then he thought it's better to be away from them. So he just stopped wherever he was, in the middle, somewhere stopped. And then he just signed to that old man, come to me, And then the old man was a mature person. So he went there and said, what happened? I said, I don't know what happened. Suddenly he started shouting, and I don't know what he's shouting, So an old man in his own way explained to him that he thinks that some magic is there with you, and that magic is something which is very dangerous for us, and that's why he's telling all of us to be away from you. And he said, no, I don't have any magic. Then this person said, okay, it's fine. Tell me what you are doing. Now, because he was also frightened, so his mirror also was on the ground, everything was, he was just running behind me. And then he said, I was just shaving I was shaving. Yeah, but then what was in your hand? He has seen something in your hand, and that's why he's frightened. He's telling black magic is there. And then I had this mirror in my hand. Then there's, what is mirror? Now they don't know what is mirror. So he said, this mirror means you can see the reflection of the self, Now look at this. Now the point, understand. Suppose he shows that this is you. Can that old man recognize that this is he? Understand? So then he said, now you call. He understood that he won't recognize his own face because he has never seen his face. So he said, the British fellow said, okay, you call your son here. That fellow was very frightened. Then, no, I am not coming. Then father shouted, come here. And then this fellow came there. So then he showed this boy the face of his father, with particular angle. And then said, see at your father. You know your father? Yeah. Look at the same face is there in the mirror. And then he 3 times, 2-3 times he was like seeing and matching that. Oh yeah, this is your father. Okay. You recognize your father here? Said yes. Tell your father that this is your face. Then he told his father, oh, this is your face. Then he turned this way and then told his father, now you see your son and see the reflection of your son. Is it your son? He said yes. Then he explained that this is the medium which reflects whatever is in front of it. So when I am keeping here, it reflects your face. When I am keeping here, it reflects your father's face. And I was shaving myself, so I was seeing my face for shaving. This is nothing magic. That means even if you have a mirror, you need somebody else to tell you that this is you. Similarly, even if you have a shastra, you need a guru to teach you the shastra. And therefore, guru also is required. The scriptures also is required, but you need to recognize this. Therefore, if you read by yourself, and lot of people, those who are studying the scripture by themselves, the way they talk is Atma is limitless. That means they are presenting Atma as some object. Understand? Therefore, this Brahman is you. Brahman is limitless happiness, which is you. And this is the definition of Brahman, from which everything is being born, by which everything is being sustained, and unto which everything being dissolved. And that is Brahman. So it is a cause of the universe. Brahman is a cause of the universe. But it is not only the cause as a maker, it is a material also. So tomorrow we'll see this maker and material cause, how it works here. So tomorrow we'll see further. Okay. We'll do the completion. Om asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrutyorma amrutangamaya. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.